Yeah, it was a much smaller van. Like, I don't even know if there's been a bus this big in Leavenworth. So, here we're going to drive by. Oh, this is fun. We're going to drive by the City Hall is on the left here, where my friends and I in high school, because we didn't have the internet back then or anything, we used to, I'm going to tell you all the truthful things. We used to drive around in my friend, the one friend I had a convertible. His parents had a convertible. And we would drive around in the summertime and we would play Who Shot the President? And we would reenact. Isn't that something? Yes, right here. We would reenact the JFK assassination. I know. It was a little dark. You know, each of us would play. One of us would play the president. One of us would play Jackie O. You know, it was very, it was really kind of crazy. But this is it right here. We're just in. You know, they all thought we were strange. Oh, Hollywood movie theater used to be on the right. It was built in like the 20s here, and it's really beautiful. But there was we had one movie, and you see that one movie for like 2 weeks, and then the multiplex is down the street now. So when they did that, this turned into a performing arts center, and I have performed if you've seen the video, I know Angie, you have it of me playing here at the 10-year reunion. Yeah, it's in there, and I've donated money to it and you know, fix it up, and they just do a really great job in it. If you have time, and if it's ever open, I don't know, this is a really beautiful, beautiful place here. And I've played in there and done plays and done lots of stuff there. They were never very religious. And after a while, my mother stopped going, and then my father stopped going, but I was already in the choir and everything, so I loved it. I want to buy this building. It's a Carnegie, it used to be the library, public library. Now someday I'm going to get there. This is the church I used to sing in choir. It was the first, it was the first time I used to go to Sunday school right over there. But it was where I really fell in love with, you know, as you do as a kid, where you fall in love with music and people singing together. It begins in the church, and that was right there.
You don't need to say you want to buy that building, because Dan and Ken are going to buy it.
They're going to buy it. Ken, I want that building. Memorial when I was born. That was the thing. Yeah, I was born there. Where? It was back behind the church. Right here. It's a library now, but it used to be a grocery store, and I opened that grocery store with Chuck Hammersmith and the Wranglers. It was back when you know, where you you're playing in the it was called Yawns. Oh, I was 12, 13, and I was singing "Stand by Your Man." Oh, that's right. First car I ever bought, the Chevy. Bought from this used to be a used car lot right there. Oh, yeah. My blue Chevrolet, I bought it right there. I wanted my father. I had made money because I was working in these bands, and I had $400, and I was 15, and I was going to go buy my own car, but because my father came with me, and I saw an orange Mustang, and I wanted badly. It was a wreck. The tires were too big. It was horrible, and I was like, I want this, and my father was like, no, you may not have that. So I had to buy it. Then he's like, this is a good car. It's a '64 Chevy Impala. I love that car until it stopped working. Actually, we went through an intersection. I told my wife that my brakes went out in that intersection. Time to get a new car. Yeah. Okay, so now we're driving.
They make brake pads.
Down Spruce. Oh, we're going to the high school, right? Oh, this high school. This is the thing I loved about this town is you have the town here, and then you also have the army base, which is beautiful. And if I think you have to register something now. You used to just be able to drive on, but after 9/11.
Like when we were there. I just went, so she wanted to show me the military base, because I had to show it to you. We start driving there, I go, don't you have to have like ID? Oh, no, we'll just, my mom used to work here, we'll go, honey, I think you need
we drive up, and it's like all these guards, and I'm like, what is this? And I pull up, and the guy's like, huh? And I said, he goes, do you have your papers or whatever you have to have? And I said, no, I just want to go visit the army base. And he finally recognizes me, and I'm like, I used to be able to just drive on here. He's like, no, not anymore. Ooh, this is Leavenworth Baptist Church. I sang here with my friend Karen Zuberg, was from here. And the first church camp I went to was from this Baptist church, just a friend of mine. And it's all connected musically because I used to play the guitar in like the church, you know, the camps and stuff. You know, it's where all the angst came from. Oh, this is fun. Oh, there used to be, right on the right, used to be a place called Kiddy Land. They don't have it anymore. But there was Kiddy Land here that was built by the Theo Manufacturing Company, which this gray building used to be that. And the Theo Manufacturing Company, we will go see the carousel at the end. And they were the only place that made carousel horses. So even like even the carousel on the Santa Monica Pier, those horses were made here. Yes, from Theo. Yeah, so it's a really and they had a little Kiddy Land place that kind of. So Leavenworth High School, I was telling you, it's.
That was pleasant.
Drive it like you stole it.
I don't know. Oh man.
We used to drive around these hills here in my blue Chevrolet, and we play a game. These are games you play in the Midwest because you have nothing else to do. And we used to, we'd start at the top of a hill, and we would just push the car and put it in neutral because and we would play this game to see how far we could get. We could turn on here and see it, and we would mark it every time. We would get further. I don't know. Those are the games. There's the games. There used to be a small bar here that's like 40 feet in diameter, I think. That I never played there, but I always think, oh yeah, here, this is it right here. That used to be a bar.
What?
Yeah.
Where?
Is it still right there? This little thing right there. Is it still? It is. I never went in there. We couldn't even all go. But the high school, I'm telling you, because we're just about to go, and I love this high school so much. Because there was the Army base, we'd have these Army kids that every year would be different. So we always kind of had, well, who's different? It never became this, we're the Leavenworth and you're an outsider. It wasn't like that at all. And the high school was really inclusive. And when I was going here, we had blacks and whites, and we were all going to the same school, and there was never any racial problems. And I always loved that. I think they had the racial problems in the 60s here, and I kind of knew that, but by the time I got there at the end of the 70s, just, you know, so many of my friends were of color and military, and so they had like worldly knowledge. So I always had this kind of, this is it right here. I want to see the Leavenworth Power and Light, which when
Oh, look at this.
Oh, stop!
What is it, a squirrel?
We got her today, baby. You got to go out. Hello.
We're gonna have everybody get off except for Melissa. And then
There was the performing group was called Chorale. And we had a teacher, and he was real like classical, and they kind of tried to do a little show choir-y thing. We do a little kickball change every now and then, but you know, it wasn't anything big. And at the end of the year, he kind of got in trouble, and he was fired. I won't go into that. But, and
It'll be a TV movie soon.
So then that summer, well, at the end of the year, what chorale would always do, you would have tryouts. It's like the top music performance thing in the high school, and you'd have tryouts. Well, we didn't have a teacher at that time, so all of us who were in chorale on our own did our own auditions with kids, and so we sort of put this new thing together my junior year, right before my junior year, and then that summer we rehearsed because our first performance was always the first day of school, so we had to have our things down. So we started rehearsing, and then they hired a new teacher, and he came to see us, and he goes, "Well, what's your name?" We were like, "Oh no, it's the Corral." He goes, "No, you need a name." And so we all got together and we called ourselves Power in Life. Kind of up with people sort of thing. To this day, who you saw there was the Power in Life. That's the Power in Life. That's who that is. Every year since that first year, and the teacher that came, beloved, his name was Lester Dalton. He just passed away this year. But he turned us into, it's like Glee. We total Glee in the 70s, and a big part of, my best friends that I still have now that I just saw yesterday were a part of Power in Life, and so it's so good to see that it's still strong, and see what I mean? There's just so many different diverse kids, and it just really meant a lot to me. And right in there, if you go in there, it's like that in that hallway there's a big like Hall of Fame or whatever, and so my picture's up there, and it's really nice. And like I was saying, this is the only high school in town. There's the Catholic high school, all good, but it's very, very small. But everybody else went to one high school, and that's it, everybody. So we had all economic, every sort of thing in this one high school. A lot of pride, a lot of just really, see how enthusiastic they are? That's how it's always been. So that's what I grew up with. Oh, wasn't that fun? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to the barbecue? Who said barbecue? You're going to have barbecue. You're going to have Kansas barbecue. And then we're all getting on the bus together. I'm sorry. I don't know. Well, whose idea was that? Oh. So this way. So where is the barbecue? I don't know this barbecue place. All slabbed up. Doesn't that sound great? Put it on a plate. Okay. On Muncie Street? Are you from Leavenworth? No. Where are you from?
Kansas City.
Kansas City. You're fancy driver. They don't have any buses like this in Leavenworth. No.
Something to go down to Muncie. That's how they go around.
Yeah. So I had friends that lived out here. Well, this was like the edge of town when I went to high school. It came about right where we are here, and then it kind of just turned into cornfields. But they've sort of started building stuff up now after that. What were you saying? Let's see, 4th. 4th, and 4th Street feeling. This is fun. All right, we're going to meet the mayor of Leavenworth.
We have big
You don't like the small.
Yeah.
You don't get statues till you're croak.
We thought you were mayor.
No, Dolly Parton. That's how Dolly Parton Come on.
Okay. No, but they did that sign back in 2000. Was it 2003, 2002? Yeah. But that was big. This is back then. This is before I went through the cancer stuff, which I think the cancer stuff, like my whole hometown went, oh, okay, she's all right, that sort of thing. Because before then, it would, being gay around here was a little hard to do, and so they actually had a lot of pushback in like the 90s, especially when I came out. So it was a little contentious. So for them, I think a friend of mine at the time was the mayor. So she's like, no, we're gonna do this, and she really went out of her way. Laura, sorry, that's your phone. That's all right.
Second time today. Second time today.
You guys are gonna get kicked off.
Principal's office.
So then she said, no, we're going to make a sign and we're going to put it out. And I think they all agreed on kind of a little sign, And it's funny because she says that, I don't know if it's still up there, but when they put it up, there was a banjo player from here. Yeah. I don't know, right? And I'd never heard of him, but because I got a sign, he insisted that he get a sign. And Laura and everyone's like, well, if Melissa gets a sign, he gets a sign. And so I don't know who he is. I don't know what he does. But there's a sign for the banjo picker too. All good. Yeah.
Equal opportunity.
And when I used to live here on the, when it said welcome to Leavenworth, underneath it, we had a junior miss, like winner of the state or something, state junior miss sort of thing, and her name was on there. Wow, see, this is all new area to me. It's all fancy.
We're gonna petition.
Oh, all right, you go pressure him. That'd be great. Oh, can I have questions now? Because I have nothing else to say right now. Oh, but I'm gonna ask them back there because I've been talking. Okay. Yes.
So, on your tour thing, it doesn't say anything about Tonganoxie Bridge, which you sing about. So we wanted to know what that was about.
Well, did you come in?
We
that
did.
way?
We drove
That's
on
what I'm talking about.
Tonganoxie, but we wanted to know, was there some special thing to you?
Only because when you come in there, my house is my old house. We'll drive by is sort of on the way, and if you hit Tonganoxie Road, that means you are going out of town.
Okay.
You're gone. And
Right.
and it's funny. I always thought that by now they'd have a more of an interstate between Leavenworth and Lawrence.
Yeah.
But this town is it's one of the reasons it stayed so small is because there was no interstate around it. The interstate was much. Yeah, there's nowhere to go. Exactly. There's just a whole bunch of. Did you drive by it? We drove actually by Buffalo Bill Cody Park when we drove in. I don't know if you guys went there.
No, we
You might not have in this big old thing. But that's the Shrine Park Road. The Shriners were a big thing that in the parades they'd all the little cars with their hats. What's up with that? I never quite understood, but they used to do that, and then they had a park, but the park was just this like a piece of land with a shed on it. That was really it. Yeah, I think we're driving by that, aren't we? Yeah. Shriners Park? Yeah, we're going by that. That'll be easy, because that does have special meaning. Yes. Other questions?
I do.
Yes.
So in music today, I've noticed that there's been a lot of remakes of songs. I was just wondering how you would feel if one of yours was remade, and if there's any songs that you would be like, no, not that one.
Oh, no, I think once you write a song, it belongs to everybody else. I will always perform it the way I do, and it will mean what it means to me. But you all certainly make your own meanings of my songs, and that's all good. Those of you who you can see while I drive at your wedding, I don't understand. You can do that. So I love it when anyone covers my song. Not many people will cover my songs. I think they're very story-ish and very particular, and I think I sing particularly that it keeps people from doing that. But I would love it anytime. I'm always like somebody's going to come along and go, let's. I always thought they'd use like the beginning of "Bring Me Some Water" in like a something, But listen. Yeah. Hey, how about that? Come to my window, Applebee's.
Yeah.
My daughter was in Columbia. That was fun.
How about the hidden story of the footage of the woman who comes out?
Oh my God!
Right? So the woman orders the order, she gets there, and she's a mom, but then the girl brings her the food and goes like, ooh.
Only lesbians would make up a whole drama just for a commercial. We would find that busting. Yes, question.
So, do you get autographs of other celebrities like your friend Tom Hanks, Bruce Springsteen?
Oh.
Do you get autographs?
You know what? I've never. Oh, the only. Let me think. Tammy Wynette's probably the only one that I asked for hers. Yeah, I have her picture. Her and I, but we were friends.
You ate fried chicken in her house.
Right?
Yeah,
I did, absolutely. Yeah, I did eat fried chicken in her house.
I know you, okay? I really know you. Don't get scared.
True.
She thinks she knows.
Yeah, so.
Can you sing Apartment Number 9 one day for us?
Yes, that was so great.
Tammy Wynette song live. I've never heard it live.
I don't think I've ever done it live. No, maybe I did it.
I got the video of it.
Yes, you know what I'm thinking about for the cruise? I am thinking about doing all those songs that I never do for you.
Yeah.
Like the bonus songs, like favorite songs, and those songs that.
Even it's for you?
I'll probably do that one too. Oh, here we are. Are we here? Oh man, it's good barbecue if it's off like an old road like this. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh, slam, did I? Now I asked them to make some pork and beans without pork. So we'll see if it happens.
Oh yeah, you don't do that.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's what this is, a little bit of torture because I used to love me some ribs.
Oh yeah.
I just don't, cancer will change you about a lot of things. So yes.
Are you going to do another Broadway?
Yes, with my wife here, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
It takes a long time for those things to happen, but we are definitely, yes, dear.
This is so boring, but bring your coats if you need. We're not sure if we'll be eating outside or inside or both. So that's all.
Tomorrow? Same
Yeah,
time
no,
next year.
I leave tonight to go wherever I'm going now. Iowa, thank you. That's where I'm headed to Iowa.
Oh wait, let's go to Iowa.
So now we're gonna go. We're actually gonna go by Shriners Park.
Yay!
Now you were at the show last night? Most everybody was at the show.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. But I did Shriners Park, and after I came out, and after I made Yes I Am, and I came out, I was feeling all just. It's all big and strong and gay and everything, and so that's why that next album, Your Little Secret, is filled with a lot of memories of Leavenworth. Before then, I kind of really didn't. I was kind of going away from it because I never knew, and once because I kind of had to leave here to really be who I was.
Yep.
And so then when I finally came out, I felt like that it was time for me to kind of go back and visit that in my own self, and so that's where I wrote Nowhere to Go and Shriners Park and those songs, because this was a huge part of my life. This was where you grow up is a huge part, and this is where I had all my dreams. So for real, it was the year after I graduated, right before I went to Berklee College of Music, those few months in between. There was also a young man, his name was Brian Moore. He lives in Washington, D.C. now. But his parents sent him up to his grandparents. His parents lived in Florida, and he was troubled. And so they sent him up to his grandmother's in Leavenworth, where, of course, there's no gay people in Leavenworth. No. And so he meets me, and we're like, woohoo! And he had a Volkswagen convertible, like one of those Beetles, really cool. His parents had a little bit of money, and so I was like, ooh, wasn't that great? And so we used to drive around, and we caused some trouble. I say trouble. I didn't break any laws or anything. I just, when you're bored and don't have anything to do, that's what you do. And so so much of that summer was spent with him, and how much?
Just spit it out.
Just go for it, like you guys have listened to it over and over night. Yes. La la la. Yes. No, but I told you I've never been with anybody else before. So this was one of the places where we're going to go. Is just that place where you would go and you would park and talk or whatever, and whatever. And so it was such a, like I was saying, the Shriners, the space across the street was just had a shed, but the Buffalo Bill Cody Park, which is not singable at all. Yeah, so hard to ride.
Yeah. Buffalo Bill Cody Park.
That. Oh,
Great joke.
it says you can't go. You gotta go around.
But you're Melissa. You
Yeah, they don't know she's on this bus, clearly.
Let's go straight.
I know. Well, you're bigger than them. If you went down a one-way street, no, I wouldn't go down the one-way street.
Yeah,
He's kidding. Okay. All right. So it was one of the first parks that they built in the end of the 70s. When they started, building nice parks and stuff in Leavenworth. They did. So that's where we. Yes.
What car were you in when you were meeting with your friends?
Okay, well, the Chevy that I had that was good until I told you my brakes went out. And the brakes went out because in 1978 there was a flood in Kansas City, and Leavenworth also flooded. The Platte River is kind of comes off where the Missouri River is. I think we end up down over by the river, and we had a big flood, and it was really a tragic flood in Kansas City. Some folks lost some lives, but when we drive to see my home, you'll see that it's in a neighborhood where the street kind of goes like this and that, and we are right in the bottom. So whenever it would rain, it would just flood, and our house would flood. And it's where my first drum set I ever had. It was also flooded in this flood. Our whole basement flooded. My childhood movies flooded. Yes, I was able to, a few years ago, I was able to take, because my mother took the movies, and she's like, they were all wet, and she goes, I didn't know what to do with them, so she just left them all rolled up. So I took them to UCLA. I said, can you salvage any of these? So if you've seen the Take My Number video,
Yes.
Yeah.
a lot of that's the footage, and you'll see it's all messed up. It was from that. So that flood also flooded my Chevy, flooded my car, and I tried to drive it, and then the brakes didn't work, and so we scrapped it then. So
Anyway,
after
what kind
that,
of car did you have when you...
She just repeated the question.
What kind of car did you have?
what kind of car did I have?
Yeah.
Because that car was great because it had the bench seats. But that's all sure. After that, I had my father gave me he let me borrow we had a Chevy Vega. Did you ever remember the little Vega? It was an ugly car. It was like an avocado green. It was horrible. And then after that, and then I had a Monza. Do you remember the Monza? I was the queen of like really random cars, right? Because then, when I came back in 1982, that's when I bought my first car, which was the Lincoln Mercury LN7, which was like, they made them for a year. They were so horrible, right? They just made them 1 year and that was it. And I bought it because it just had 2 seats in the front, and the back was like a hatchback where there were no back seats, so I could put all my equipment in it. So it wasn't a truck, but it wasn't a van. It was just this small. So I had that, and I think we made T-shirts of that sometime years ago or something. Kind of that really ugly '80s car, and it was yellow. It was just bad.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, that's the one. Everything No, that was the Chevy. That was when I had my Chevy. This was before you had like radios and speakers and stuff. I took my you had a radio in the car, but it wasn't like a custom built. I had an 8-track stereo in my house, and I took the speakers and I put them in the back. That car was banging. It was before you had that sort of thing. I know. I was like. My top 3 8-tracks. Oh, that's interesting. Probably Fleetwood Mac, Rumors.
Yeah!
Bob Seger, Night Moves.
Yes!
And Springsteen's Born to Run.
Yes!
And then I had Foreigner. Remember I had that. Yes, exactly. Cold as ice. Sweet. Just drive by. No, we didn't open go. So, are we close? Yes. Very soon. Yes. So we're just going to drive by Shrine Park. We don't have to get out because it's just a park. It's just some swing sets and some things, and a shed on one side and swings. Yeah. What are the questions?
Which one's the Cody Park?
You'll see the Buffalo Bill Cody Park is on this side, and
Can't remember
Shrine
that
Park. I know. Well,
Shriners
Buffalo
Park.
Bill Cody. This is his hometown too, and every summer they have Buffalo Bill Cody days.
Oh.
And it was one of the first places I saw live music. I was really young. I was like first grade probably, and my best friend up the street was Jody Brown, and her brother was like way older. He was like 10 years older than her, like in high school. And this is 1967, 68, and it's he was like the first guy I saw play a guitar, and he played a 12-string, and I was like, oh, I just thought he was the coolest. He actually got me for my birthday. He got me Derek and the Dominoes, Layla, 45. He like introduced me to rock and roll and Neil Young and James Brown. He would always have that music, and he played. Oh, is this it? No, those are apartments. No. So he played Buffalo Bill Cody Park, Buffalo Bill Cody Days. It's like a festival, and I went down, and the three of them sat up there and sang Crosby, Stills, Nash songs. Isn't that funny? And
Isn't that ironic?
yes. All right, so here's Buffalo Bill Cody Park right here. This is where we go in and park, and that's the parking lot. And so that's right there. Now Shriners Park. Where's the shrine? Shrine Park. All right, maybe they built houses on it now. I think they built it up. I think the apartment building is here where it used to be. But this is a lovely, nice little park
They
now.
paved paradise.
Yep.
Put up a parking lot.
Put up a parking lot. There you
Yes, back there.
So, in the song you referenced when you were just 17.
Yeah.
Is that still the same reference from Fearless Love?
Oh, when I was 17, so she was 17. I was. I know. They don't rob. Dangerous. But in Fearless Love, when I first kissed a girl and went, oh, this is my life, that was actually on my 17th birthday.
Oh,
I know. That's funny. Who I actually saw, she came to Memphis.
She was at the show the other day.
In Memphis.
I've been dying to tell you.
Oh yeah. Okay, get this.
Tell us more.
Her son and my oldest son were both born on the same day. I know. Okay, we're driving. We're on.
So Linda, was she like, wow, I should have?
No, think about your first girlfriend. Really. Think about your first crush in high school.
I didn't see her this time. I met her once before. And I got this. Yeah. Oh, hello. She did this.
40 years ago.
Telling secrets.
She ended up marrying a sorry.
Yeah. Some of them do. I know. This is fun.
So does Buffalo Bill Cody have a sign? Because the banjo player has a sign.
You know, well, Buffalo Bill Cody has days. He's got a festival.
In a park.
So then
Yeah,
you
I
need to
think it
have
does.
your days.
We're working on it.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
No, not yet.
Bus tours are starting.
We're getting. I know you guys. You pressured that mayor. Way to go. I know. He was like, whew. He goes, yeah, I guess I gotta get you a bigger sign.
You know the banjo player is going to want a bigger sign.
I know that the banjo player. Leavenworth celebrity.
$1,000 for somebody to bring me that sign.
Right. I think they used to.
I'll do it for free.
Back 10 years ago, you guys were stealing the sign, so they had to for a while there, they had to keep it in the, in the thing. They finally.
Oh, that was the thing back in the day.
Stealing signs.
Yeah.
You're a rebel then.
I remember getting out and trying to steal the High Street sign. Have you ever tried? I mean, you get a thing, it requires a special tool. Never mind. Okay, we're at Tonganoxie Road. Okay, so if you take
Cemetery.
this is a cemetery. Look at that old cemetery.
Wow.
Are we gonna go down Eisenhower Road sometime?
Yeah, I hope so.
Last night,
Oh, we were. I think we need to sing
Where the
a
hell am
song.
So Eisenhower became something else, didn't it? Or is it Eisenhower still? I'm all turned around, but we were around Eisenhower Road. That Tonganoxie Road is. We're on Tonganoxie Road? Oh.
Yeah.
Take the road to Tonganoxie and up here a few miles is Suncatcher Lake. Suncatcher Lake, it's up there. It's a few miles and there's a little cemetery right before.
So some trivia for you. Do you know what Tonganoxie means?
Tonganoxie?
Yeah.
Tonganoxie, do you know what it means?
You know what it means?
Wow. No, I don't. What does it mean?
Shorty.
You're kidding.
I googled it this morning. We were googling it.
Shorty?
Yeah, as we were driving in, I was like, it sounds like it's Native American. I wonder what it means. And she says, oh, it means shorty.
That was such an interesting part of growing up here is, you know, everything's named after the Native American, and I never saw a Native American here, you know. Like, what's the concept? That was kind of strange. So this is 20th Street. Okay, so yes, we're going to my house. My house is on Miami Street between 18th and 20th. So my junior high used to be around here, but it's not the junior high anymore. Wow, I'm trying to get my...
I have a question.
Oh, I think the junior high was right up there, yeah. You know, junior high, how much fun that is. Yes.
Why do the roads not connect? Why does Miami Street end and then pick up again?
I don't know, really.
That's near the guitar shop, right?
Yeah. The streets, you know, go through, but then they all get, because it was a small little city that started, and when I lived here, my neighborhood was like on the outskirts of town. That's why this is so crazy to see. You know, how it's grown. Hasn't grown as much as it, you know, normal cities in 40 years, but this definitely has grown. And we're on 20th Street. Used to never go through like this. This is blowing my mind. Okay, this is, what school is this? Oh, it's a new elementary school. Henry Levin.
And little children's.
Little children.
Yeah. This is a really cool town, I'm telling you. Wanna see. I have no idea where I am. Okay. I went to David Brewer Elementary, which I think we'll pass by. I had no idea. They never told us who David Brewer was. You know, I mean, you would think, but they never did. This is all new. Any more questions? Okay. I know.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah, it's fun.
Who's your favorite one?
Well, I've only had one real one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really only been legally married one. Okay, 1930. Hold on. Yeah, this is like a... Is it 20th Street or 20th like Avenue? I don't know what that is anymore, but it used to be the West Junior High. And I used to ride my bike around here all the time. And, you know, curse this hill because that's what we do as children, and we want our whole life to be one flat thing. And okay, so we're gonna go by my house, which the last time Linda and I came here, we stopped and I was like, let me go just knock on the door and see who's in my house, right? And I knocked on the door, and an Asian woman, I think she's Korean, answered and did not know who I was. No. And I kind of explained it. She was the only one there, and her husband, I believe, if I understood it correctly, he was. I knew the family, the Schmidling family. They were the builders around here, and they built our house, and he ended up buying the house. So she showed me around, and it was great. It was wonderful.
We got to go in the house. It was like, oh.
Yeah, it was really nice. And she got to see everything, and then at the end, when I left, I said, I think you want to take a picture with me. Because your family's going to say, you didn't get a picture with her, you know. So even though she didn't know who I was, this is the little. This used to be an Easy Mart on the right here. Now it's a bar and grill. But I used to come up here and buy my gum and stuff, and walk and meet kids here. And this is the street that I lived on. On the left was the Bepper Apartments. They're still there. Up the hill was Havens Hill, where my best friend Kim lived on the top. See that house way up there? Yep. Yeah. And oh, here we are, Lordy. This street will never be the same. Okay, so you see feelings, big feelings. You see how the street goes down like this? Now, right at the very, where the bottom right here on the left, it's got the little white.
With the pumpkin?
Not where the car is, but where there's no nobody in the railing. That's my house.
Nice.
We're almost there. It's 1902. Keep going.
I want to sit and see it.
I know, isn't this crazy? Not the brown one, but this one right here. That's it right there. Isn't that sweet? 1902. My bedroom, my first bedroom was on the back side in the middle, and then from, let's see, 9th grade on, the left one over here was my bedroom. The one on the left.
Did you ever sneak out the window?
Oh, are you kidding? But the thing is, my parents, and you know, when we're in high school, we just don't think about it. But I used to open the garage door. Now, my parents' room is right above. So they would always know when I came, because it would go, and the electric garage door would open. And the one on the right, there used to be a hole in it where I drove the car too far into the, yep. And let's see, what else? My father, let me see, I'll tell you what my father built here.
Can you stand in front of it?
Can I stand in front? Well, I don't know. I don't know if anybody. Yeah.
Bring the door back around.
We will stay on
Okay, I'll go up and maybe I'll knock on the door and see. No? Don't knock on the door. There's a bus outside their house. You guys stay here. You guys stay here. Okay.
We fixing to do this.
Yeah, take the mic.
Is the mic wireless? Take the mic.
Take the mic.
It won't stretch, so I'll translate what she's thinking. This is what she's thinking because she's so humble. Oh, I shouldn't bother these people.
Melissa Etheridge going to her own childhood home.
So sweet.
There she goes.
And right inside, so if you go in the front door and take a left, that's the little TV room that had the piano in it. That's where she would write music all the time, right to the left of the front door.
Look at she ain't doing it. Come here. Come here. Get it. Who's that people in the window?
Wait. You got it?
This is a
I'm gonna break a few rules.
Keep it so funny.
Get your ass back on the bus.
Watch out for that pit bull coming.
Okay, so when I was 16 and I dreamed that someday I would bring a bus by. Dream come true.
All the neighbors are probably like, what the
I know.
Oh yeah, right behind right where the patio is, right behind there was the music room. Well, it was also the TV room. My mother wasn't a big fan of TV or Joy. That's all right. Yes, we did. And so the piano was in that room with the TV. So if we were watching TV, I couldn't play piano.
What kind of piano was it?
It was. I still have it. It's in our house. It's in our house at home. It was a little Yamaha upright. I also had in the living room. I also had a Wurlitzer organ. My father, you know that. You know that? Yeah, I had one of those. Learned to play. Yeah. Oh, I wonder who that is. That somebody coming out to see?
They did that.
Oh, was she?
Should we leave it?
Popo on you.
Yeah, I know. They know who it is. Hold on, I'm gonna see who it is.
She was kind of salty though. I don't know.
Oh, this is fun.
This is cool.
And that's sweet.
That is sweet.
That is cool.
I think she's got a pink ribbon on her head.
Absolutely. Come in now.
She might still live here from where Melissa lived.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Remember,
That's like the best.
That is the best. Those kinds of reunions. Yeah, that's cool.
And now I'm here with a whole bus. Can they see it?
You should come say hi.
Translating.
All right, somebody say what they're saying.
Translating. Bad dubbing.
Bad lip reading.
Well, we're just so happy you're here and we love you. Very much. Thank you.
Could you get the damn bus off
And
the block?
you know, I knew
Would you like a cup
your
of tea?
mom.
I've been seeing you since you were this tall.
And maybe
Now look, you got your own bus and your own bus of fans.
This is hilarious.
This
This is like something out of like
Out of a movie.
Let's cheer really loud. She's gonna call her best friend. Oh my God! Guess who was in my driveway?
I know, right?
She said that they're out of town. They're in Korea, actually. Yeah. Because he.
Picture on the front lawn?
No. Next time we'll arrange it. I didn't want to. Oh, she's. Yeah, she didn't live here when I was a child, but I do know her.
Oh, you need to autograph the garage doors.
Yeah, I know.
I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Melissa was here.
Sorry,
And then no trespassing with a gun on him.
The house of my best friend. Let's see, it's the yellow one, Jody Brown. That's where her brother Steve played the guitar, and he was the one that played the Buffalo Bill Cody part. But I don't think she lives there anymore. That's where she lived. But you know, when you're a child, from here to my house was like miles.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I used to, I'd have to be home before when the lights came on. Yeah. That's when you had to go. Now we're gonna drive by my school.
You should buy that car.
Which car?
Look, right there.
Ooh, that's a cool car.
Melissa, does your mom still live in Leavenworth?
No, Mom.
It looks like
How did my parents end up in Leavenworth?
No, your mom passed away already?
Oh yeah, she passed away about 4 years ago. My dad just got a job teaching high school here. I have no other family but my parents that lived here. This was my grade school, David Brewer. We did not have the fancy equipment. Wow. It was just a yard and like gold plate. Yeah. So and I learned how to play tennis over here. My the first house that I was actually born in is right up there. Right up that street, Potawatomi was actually, yeah, and that's right up there. And I learned to play tennis here. This is one of the first, municipal park. This is David Brewer Park, David Brewer School. Who is David Brewer? See, I don't know. See, I know. I think he just gave money or something. And now we're going to go to Sportsfield Park, where in the summertime, they have all the sports there, the young men's baseball and softball, and of course I played a lot of softball. Of course, like a good gal. Of course. But in the summertime you could hear the games. You'd leave your door and you'd hear the and it's just maybe 100 people maybe, but it's just that sort of summertime feeling that I remember here. And so I used to I played softball there, but my father was very athletic, and he not only did he coach the high school team, but he was also later in the 80s he was a athletic director there and kind of a beloved sports kind of guy. And he would every summer, this is it here, right here. Every summer he would play on the team called the Lazy Aces. And it was him and his buddies, and they played, the slow pitch softball, which.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. That's Kansas. Yeah. And so the town, when I came here in '94 and I did a concert here at the high school, and we raised like a few $1,000s. It was for this field. And so then finally, a few years ago, they finally dedicated a field to my father here. Yeah. So are we going to get out and look at it? Great. So I'll show you. They have a plaque here, and we did it on a Saturday. They're probably park. No, I guess you got to go around. Yeah, the parking lot's over to the back. Yikes! We're stuck now.
Melissa, did you like school?
What's that?
Did you like school as a kid?
Did I like school?
Was anybody?
What was your favorite subject?
What was your GPA?
Well, it was music. I was all music, and I couldn't play in the marching band even though I played clarinet because I already had a choir and a performing choir, and I couldn't take like 3 classes out of 7 in music. So
Oh boy.
This is Havens Hill. This is I'm surprised that I never wrote actually about this at Havens Park. Yeah, but this is where we would take the strawberry wine. Yeah, this is where, yeah.
Is that the Roy?
There was, whoever we was at the time. But those are like the roads that when you got nowhere to go. That's I know a place down past the little shack. You take any of these roads. It used to be these roads back here. Okay, you decide what you need to do.
Run and start.
There's a biker coming.
Yeah, there's a
biker.
Yeah, no, we can see. I think the bicyclists see us. Yeah.
What position did you play in softball?
There you go.
What position did you play in softball?
I was third base.
Yeah!
Vacuum. I could throw across to first base because I had that guitar.
Guns.
Oh, look.
It's like, where y'all from? New York City.
They love to help here. They love to help.
Everybody knows the answer now.
What was that? Oh, when I came here to do the to dedicate this to my dad, it was like on a Saturday morning, and it was the opening of the softball and baseball season, and so all the little kids, all the little tiny kids and kids of all ages all gathered out here, and they all gathered around. They did a dedication to my dad. It was really sweet. And at that time, one of my dad's best friends who played on the softball team with him, Jim Mathis, he got up and he said something I didn't know. He said, your father always liked singing and he wanted to be a singer. I said, what? I said, I never knew that. I knew he sang in the shower and stuff. Oh, when he'd go boom, 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 he would kind of Frank Sinatra-y a little all around, Well, his favorite singer was Mario Lanza. Do you know?
Oh, yeah.
An old Italian kind of opera-ish pop. He was the student prince. He was in. There's an old movie. Go watch it called The Student Prince, and he sings. Oh, he was his favorite thing. And why am I talking about that? Oh, so they all came and they came out and we dedicated. That's the last time I was actually here, and that was what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
His pictures on some plaques.
Yeah, so you see my dad. Yeah, very sweet.
That is cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, he. Like I said, at the high school, the kids if they had a test, because he taught American government and then psychology, and they knew if they got him talking about me, they would never have to take the test. Oh, she was on David Letterman the other day. He was good. Yeah, and so many people loved him, and they know him as Coach Etheridge. Whenever anyone comes up and says, "Oh, I had Coach Etheridge," and a lot of people may say, "Oh, like Urban."
Yeah, the guy at the guitar shop.
The guitar shop. He had him as a teacher. Said he was really strict, which really doesn't ring with me at all. He was never strict with me. All right, we're gonna go see it.
I haven't seen it before. Excited about it. I mean, seriously.
We appreciate her sharing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wheelchair for anything.
Will you be getting out there and going through?
I gotta tell
I'm
you.
gonna just show my friends the prison. Is that okay?
I've been inside that prison when I was with the Bob Hamill Variety Show. Remember, there was the talent show from up at the plaza, and then he put together this variety show. We used to play old folks' homes and stuff, and then he started getting us gigs in the prisons.
You were 12.
I was 11, 12, yes. But it was fascinating because other than this federal prison, which we're going to go, this is the federal prison that Al Capone was in. The Birdman of Alcatraz spent some time here. Leonard Peltier is here. Oh, look it up. And that's the federal prison. But besides that, just outside of Leavenworth is Lansing, which has the Kansas State Penitentiary. So I've played there before. That state penitentiary, of course, very different. That's where, in Cold Blood, the Truman Capote thing. That's where they were executed there. Well, yeah. And there's also a women's prison right by there. So I have.
When you sang that,
Yeah, I sang at the women's prison, which was a real eye-opener. 12 years old, and I walk in here and go, I thought this was the women's prison. That was really. So I got this called Benny's Bar. So it used to be Pollock's. Everyone here thinks I played there, but I never played there. So, the end. And so it was a women's prison. There was the state prison, the men's prison. There was the federal prison. And then we're going to drive by what's called the Honor Farm. And I used to play the Honor Farm a lot. And that's right. Let's see. Yeah, the prison is. There's the prison right there. Wow. Isn't that intense? And I thought and for a while there, when I was a little kid, and I'd see pictures of like the Capitol building, and I go, oh, that's just right down the street. But that's not the Capitol building. Okay, and this street used to go straight up here. It doesn't go up there anymore. But right here on the right, where those cars are, that was the roller rink. And Missy used to go behind there and kiss the boys. Yeah, the roller rink. That was back when I was still kissing boys.
Okay, let's clarify.
We all know.
How many boys do you have?
Like 4.
There you go.
Okay. Not very many. No, Mike Strange, he comes to, I just saw him yesterday, but he's a real sweetheart. But that was the roller rink that I should write a song about. But the Honor Farm is right over this hill. It's where the good prisoners, I used to play there a lot. Yeah, that brown building there. And then once I got to go inside the big house there, and we started to go in, and all of a sudden like some alarms went off and they locked everything down, and they said, oh, there's a fight, and we had to wait like another hour before we could go in again. And if you accidentally turn, you'll see there's a guard post, and once I turned in and like accidentally went like in the driveway, and there's no place to turn around. I had to drive all the way to the end, and the guard goes, what are you doing here? Yeah, I see yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's the prison right there, the United States Penitentiary. Mm-hmm. And on the Army base, there's actually Army prison too. So if you watch Army movies and they talk about you don't want to end up in Leavenworth, that's the Leavenworth they're talking about. Yeah. So we have so many prisons around here. So that's why, I have, when I wrote the song The Prison, thinking I do a lot of, well, this is where I drove up into this road right here. And there's like no exit. And you just gotta, oops, I gotta turn around. What are you doing here? Yeah. So that's the big prison. And
Melissa.
Oh, yes.
You were a security guard at a hospital?
I was a security guard in Boston, at the Deaconess Hospital in Boston, for a few weeks. I didn't like real work at all. No, I worked there, and I made $7 an hour, and so one Saturday that I didn't work, I went down to the Park Street station in Boston, and I opened up my guitar case, and I played for an hour, and I made $7, and I went, well, I can do this. And I made $7 instead of like real work. So this is the Army base over here on the left. It is truly gorgeous, and that there's a bell tower. It's actually called the Bell Tower. My mother used to work there. My mother worked on the Army base. She was very, very, very smart. She was in computer sciences, sort of like if you've seen the Hidden Figures movie. Yeah. She did all the work, and then all the men got all the money and the credit. So she was not a happy person. And see, now it used to be you could drive right on, but now you got to go through all that. Right. So it was packed. It was like, oh, this is silly. Anyway, that's where my mom used to work. She programmed computers in war games and scenarios. Wow. I know, super smart. Not very happy, but super smart. And this is the Missouri River. This is the Mighty Mo coming up here. They used to be, oh my gosh, what is this now? This is, Marriott. Is that where you're staying? Yeah. We never had a Marriott. This used to be the Pizza Hut. Totally. No, look at that. That's fancy. But I just think this is so beautiful now. This whole area here, that when you cross over, that's Missouri right there. Yeah. And this is 4th Street. You take it all the way to 4th Street, all the way down.
That's why we stayed there.
So now when I was in high school, they started revamping the riverfront area. Before then, it was old abandoned boxcars. Whereas down here, there's a the railroad goes along here, and it was really junky area. And so then in the late 70s, they started building it back up. And my father was a part of that. He was part of the community center, and there's a big swimming pool there because we certainly didn't have an indoor swimming pool. And he started the first swim team of the high school when he was the athletic director, and and competed with them, and they used to do it. Isn't it pretty? Isn't it gorgeous? Come on.
Yeah. So where were the boxcars?
They were down. The railroad track goes right. Yeah, the Mighty Mo. There it is. Down by the muddy. See the railroad tracks right there? Yeah. Of the Mighty Mo.
Did you ever swim in that?
Oh gosh, no. That would take you. The current there is really, really. Yeah, we were smart enough to know that you don't ever go in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it freeze over?
It looks like it's
going.
going.
Yeah, every now and then you'd have like ice blocks going down it. It would flood. This is, it would flood every now and then, big time.
Did you ever fish?
I never fished in that river. My father, we would go to actually Tonganoxie Lake. That's where we would drive out Tonganoxie. We'd go there. There's a place called Perry Lake, and I don't really remember where it was. He would drive there, and I don't really remember where it was. But this was, I just love it now. They've done such a great job down here. Isn't it pretty?
Yes.
Leavenworth.
Yeah, we're going to carousel.
Oh. We're going to go visit the carousel now, right? That's where we're going? So they, in the 90s, after they worked on this whole thing, when I told you about the Theo Manufacturing Company, it was a big part of the history down here.
Yeehaw!
Kansas is showing.
Oh, I know. So,
Hey, $21,000 cash for a house.
isn't that funny? Yeah. I know. Come on, I'm telling you. Right there, right by the river. Come on, when you get waterfront property like that? Dan, buy me that house. Buy the house. But the so Mike Strange, who I told you was an old. Yeah, isn't that gorgeous? Yeah. It's really
She planned the fall colors for you.
Indeed, just for you all. Yeah, it's really pretty here. So when you listen to my album, this is where it all came from, right here.
I'm going to not be able to get it. Oh, you got some.
But in the 90s, they decided to put together an original carousel from all the Theo pieces, and they had to go find the original horses, and they had to refurnish them, and it came down, they bought a place down here that they could put it in, and they could run it, and it came down to they kind of ran out of money, and they wanted to put an original organ, that plays while you go around in it. And so I got a call from the city, and they said, do you think you could, give us donate some money for the organ? So I'm an organ donor. So I did, and so you'll see they have a little plaque, and they're always sweet. It's beautiful, and I hope you can all get out and take a ride on it. I hope is it open? Do we know? Did you tell them we're coming? Yeah. Oh, it's good. They're waiting for us. Good. Special.
It's nice.
Everywhere we go, there's like an old time carousel.
Isn't that something that they really do? I feel so much love from all of them. I mean, it's just all.
Martha's Vineyard, they have.
And so this is the community center over here on the riverfront, where there's a swimming pool in there that my dad helped do. And then here, right down there, is the carousel. Yeah, they're so sweet. Yeah, it's really, really nice. And like a lot of Leavenworth history stuff is in there too. Isn't that pretty? They just did such a great job.
Have you ever brought your kids to the carousel?
Yeah, I brought all my kids here. Yeah. Run that. No. he's just the reason that you can tell he knows everything. Oh, yeah. That's so cool. And he's the one that he doesn't know me at all. He has no. And he was like, well, every town needs someone like that really does it. But what a great experience, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, yay. That's fun. Cool. So thank you. That's the Leavenworth tour. You guys are great. You really are. You really make me proud to bring you in a place like this and have so much fun. We're going to end up going back to Urbans. Yes, dear?
Is this what it feels like to sing really close to you in a mic? I have a bag. I brought some picks. So I thought if I pass,
I'm sure I've given you all picks.
I know you guys have,
Yes.
but hey, sometimes it's fun to have more. So
Take a pick and pass it around. Take a pick and pass it around.
Say that back 10 times.
Tonight we are, Linda and I will be attending a Kansas Democrats thing. They asked me if I had any time, and I don't know if any of you, I don't.
I want to go.
Yeah, go on my Twitter. I retweeted what it was, so it's something. I have no idea how much it is, but it's a fundraiser. Yeah.
How much?
$100.
$100.
Yeah. Okay, so $100 if you want to go, that'd be great because the money goes to the Kansas Dems, who I love very much. Who, if you remember, I don't. Sharice won't be there. What? Well, I'm wearing this, so I don't know. But I'm just going to get up and speak there and talk to them and say, "Come on, Kansas," because we turned it a little blue in 2018. We have a Democratic governor now. And of course, Sharice Davids, which was just rocked my world. All right, thank you. We did buy the store out, didn't we? Yeah. Cool.
Look at him wearing your hat.
What's
Love that. I know, I just so much in your dad.
That's your old dude. He's so Etheridge Nation.
I think so. Not sure he's a fan, but he's a friend. He's Etheridge Nation friend. He is.
Alicia, what time's the thing tonight?
6. I speak at 6:30. So yeah, 6 o'clock. Yeah, it's on my Twitter.
Okay.
Going this way.
Right? I retweeted it, right? Didn't I? Yeah. I'm looking at you, Angie. Like you know everything about my Twitter. Is it 5:30? Okay.
Oh,
All right.
We'll make it back.
And it's here at a house in town, so I'm not. If you want to go, I'm just going to go speak at that. So so on and so forth. Last questions before we end up. Yes.
We wanted to drive to Suncatcher Lake. How far would it be?
It's 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's not that far, I don't think. Yeah.
I don't have a question, whatever.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Oh, in Jamaica, you know, that was really tough for me because I know a lot of people felt really strongly, but as I have been on my journey, I have found that I can create more positive change by heading into a situation rather than running away from it. And so I said, look, if we can connect up with the gay community there, if we can do some positive work, we're going to look for maybe some things we can do. If, you know, getting off the port like we did in Puerto Rico when we got off and did some service there. So we're looking to try to get something together, maybe some outreach to the, you know, LGBT youth and stuff there. But thank you for saying that, because those decisions are not, I don't take them lightly. Thank you. I hope I see you on the cruise. I hope you're coming. So I need to start in the fan club. I'll start a, you know, what songs do you want to hear? And I'll try to learn them. You know, the ones that are it's my band. They had to learn. I had them learning so many songs. Like, isn't my band great? Yeah. This has to be probably my favorite. David Santos. I mean, I can tell them a couple hours before, you know, this song, and they will have it down. They're such professional musicians, and they love. We just have a good time. Any more questions? Come on.
Wendy Moten's coming back, right?
Wendy Moten. Oh, I have to make sure. Yeah, that's David's wife. She was amazing. Wasn't
She was amazing.
She just became the first black woman to sing at the Grand Ole Opry. Yeah, you picked that one up before, but.
Kelly Neff, please.
Yeah, Kelly Neff.
Kelly who? All right, I'll look this.
She was on your second cruise.
And she opened for you Bonita Springs before the second cruise.
Oh, her. Yes. But then the woman that opened for me at the Ryman, she's she's really good. Angie K. I like her a lot. And I like finding artists and having them come on. It's always a lot of fun. But Tig Navarro, do you know her? Comedian, funny, beautiful, wonderful story. And Tegan and Sarah, that means some more young folks. Yeah, I know the young ones are guys. Yeah. So that is, and so anytime you can come to Leavenworth. Yeah, there's the tune shop right here on the, that's right. This is the place where I took, actually I didn't take him here, but it was this business, the tune shop. They since moved around the corner, that I took guitar lessons from Don Raymond. Yeah, we're not going to get out and see it, but it's right here. Sometime it's the Cowans who they were also hi Cowans. They were also look at them. We just yeah. So that was it was more like the you get your trombones and your band instruments there, and Urban's was more the guitars and the rock and roll. He was kind of like the local, band's music store. And yeah, this here again. I want to raise some more money for them too, because it's a really beautiful old, deco theater, and I've heard that they have a bar inside of it now, and they're really trying to pick it up. I just love what my town is doing for it. They really have brought it up, and they're holding on to the original, 100 years ago small town of it. I dig it.
Like a time capsule.
Yeah.
There's Dorothy.
Yeah. A little bit of the Dorothy.
Do you have any special projects going on?
Coming from Graceland here was like, no, it's. I mean, I'm gonna get, bless my wife's heart, but I'm gonna get in the car now and go, oh my God, because it's such a crazy thing. Truly, this is where I would, day after day, and days like this where it's gray, and I'm walking around going, someday I want to be a star, and dream and stuff like that. Here and now to come back here and with you guys, it's so much fun. It's and of course it doesn't feel like what I thought it would feel like, but it's truly special.
What did you think?
Oh, I know. Look at the gas prices here. I know. Isn't that crazy? I know. Everything is.
Do you have any special projects going on right now?
I mean, no, I'm sorry, in Memphis, in Elvis's.
Oh, I actually didn't go visit Graceland. It was just awesome being there and talking with them and stuff. What was that again?
Do you have any special projects going on right now?
Okay, what do I have now? I'm kind of writing a little bit. We are, of course, the thing that's taken up a lot of my time is Etheridge Farms. Really, it's really not easy with the regulations, but I think it's really, really worth it, and I'm really working on that. So, we'll do that next. I'll do it Santa Cruz. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Okay, I love you. I'll see you at the shows. Anybody who's coming tonight, I'll see you, and I'll get those flowers. Woo-hoo. And thank you for all your.